Hello, music fans. I'm concluding my series of the top 10 albums of every subgenre or the key subgenres I listened to in 2023. Today, we're doing my favorite subgenre of metal, progressive metal. And right before I jump into the list, I want to mention that I'm not including any progressive death metal on this list because I already made a separate video for progressive death metal specifically. I'm not including progressive power metal because I included those in my top 10 power metal and heavy metal albums video instead. And I'm not including progressive post metal because I included those in my top 10 post metal, post rock, and ambient albums of 2023. And I'm not including progressive thrash metal because I included those in the top 10 thrash metal albums of 2023. So these are more pure prog metal albums. And that being said, let's dive right in with number 10, which is Aviations and Luminaria. This is the third album by this band from the US. The opening track here, Prelude, is perfect. 3-minute prelude track that builds suspense and gets you pumped up for the album. When the lead vocals on the second track, Cradle, come in, they remind me of Michael Lessard from The Contortionist. The drumming, keyboards, and guitars also remind me of The Contortionist, which is a band that I really love, so I'm glad to hear that. The third track, Safe House, reminds me more of Periphery. And the fourth track, Legend, is a pretty heavy song, brings out some harsh vocals to contrast with the amazing melodic, emotional, and powerful clean vocals we've heard so far. The clean vocals sound a bit like Casey Crescenzo from The Deer Hunter to me. The rest of the album is all killer, with the last track, Blink, being my favorite. This band, Aviations, sounds like The Contortionist plus Periphery plus The Deer Hunter, so check it out if that sounds good to you. Now, number 9 is Black Orchid Empire with Tempus Veritas. And this is a little bit djenty and has a little bit of pop and alternative influences in it, but it's a great progressive metal album, the fourth album by this band from the UK. Really catchy and accessible. I recommend this for fans of Tesseract. There's no harsh vocals here, though. So this would be a good album for people who like the instrumental aspects of progressive metal and djent, but who don't like harsh vocals. My favorite track is Last Ronin. The intro reminds me of Tool. When the vocals come in, they sound more like Tesseract. I also think fans of the band Soen would like Black Orchid Empire because I get some of their vibes on this album too. Other standout tracks are Scarlet Haze and Glory to the King, which both have amazingly catchy choruses. Number 8 is Hemina with Romancing the Ether. This is the fifth album by this Australian band. It's a 35-minute prog epic piece with 6 movements. This ends the conceptual story that has spanned their entire back catalog. This epic song is a genre-bending journey that touches on djent, pop, world music. There's a section that has some kind of Asian language vocals. There's electronic stuff, ambient stuff, rock and metal in here. There's amazing vocals, both male and female, with amazing harmonies between them. Great guitar solos too. If you're a fan of Toe Hider, I think you'll like this. Number 7 is Okay Goodnight with The Fox and the Bird. This is the second album by this American band. Amazing female vocals on here with mostly clean singing, but there are some harsh vocals. Lots of beautiful, soft, folky passages, but also some heavy riffing metal sections for fans of Haken and the Deer Hunter. Whoa, that's crazy. My shirt just changed color. Anyways, jumping right back into the list, number 6 is Ne Obliviscaris with Exul. This is extreme progressive metal, the fourth album by this Australian band. This band is amazing. For fans of An Abstract Illusion, Persephone, and Wilderun, they bring the brutality, but they also bring the beauty. They feature extreme harsh vocals, but also clean singing and violin. I saw them live this year, and they're also a great live band. Number 5 is Periphery with Periphery 5, Djent is Not a Genre. This is the 7th album by this American band. It's a really good album, as everything they put out is great. They do more orchestral, electronic, and jazzy breaks in between their djent and metalcore intensity. They have breakdowns as well as the odd pop vocal moment. Great vocals, but you have to be accepting of emo style and occasionally pop clean vocals as well as harsh screams. And I think a lot of emo and pop listeners won't like the vocals because there's too many harsh screams. And a lot of the extreme metal purists won't like this, will like the screaming, but won't like the vocals because there's too much clean singing. I like both. There's great guitar riffing and solos here, excellent drumming, cool composition. My favorite track is Zagreus. Number 4 is Tesseract with War of Being. This is another progressive metal gent style band. It's the 5th album by this band from the UK. They're one of the bands who popularized gent along with Periphery and Animals as leaders after the style started with Meshuggah and Sixth. And I like all their albums, so I was really anticipating this release, and as expected, they delivered another banger of an album. The vocals on War of Being by Dan Tompkins are excellent. He took it up a notch, and he was already amazing before. There's a great mix of harsh vocals and clean singing to match the mixture of heavy, genty guitar riffs and ambient, atmospheric guitar parts. Check this out if you want to hear what Meshuggah could sound like if they had beautiful melodic vocals and atmospheric ambient passages. Also for fans of Periphery and The Contortionist. Number 3 is Haken with Fauna. This is the 7th album by this amazing band from the UK. This was my most anticipated album of the whole year because I love Haken. I saw them live in 2023 on the Fauna tour and also in 2022 with Symphony X. Fauna cements them as the kings of progressive metal, taking that crown from bands like Dream Theater, Symphony X, and Between the Buried and Me. My favorite track is Elephants Never Forget. Number 2 is No Spoon with Opus. This is the debut album by this American band for fans of Dream Theater, Haken, and Devin Townsend. This is the best debut album of the year. I really hope to see their popularity blow up because my mind was blown by how amazing this album is. It features a 15-minute epic song called Within the Realm of Possibility that's just great. It's a concept album about a person who sees a murder, but then they can time travel to warn the murder victim before it happens. At least that's what I interpreted from what I could hear of the lyrics. And then my number 1 progressive metal album of 2023 is Avenged Sevenfold, Life is But a Dream. This is avant-garde progressive metal. It's got classical, metalcore, industrial, pop, electronic, jazz, alternative, and hard rock influences. It's the 8th album by this American band. Their last album, The Stage, was previously their most progressive yet, but this album makes that one seem really safe. Avenged Sevenfold is constantly reinventing themselves. They started as a metalcore band for their first 2 albums, went in a less hardcore, less screaming, more accessible, traditional heavy metal direction with their next 3, but they still did a lot of cool experimentation and progressive stuff. I didn't really like Hail to the King from 2013. I feel they stopped experimenting and kind of played it too safe and sounded too similar to bands like Iron Maiden and Metallica on that one. But their previous album, The Stage, got them back on track. The first single off of Life is But a Dream, Nobody, sounded like a continuation of the sound from The Stage. But then the next single they released, We Love You, is really weird and all over the place. Now that I've listened to the whole album, I can say it's very strange but very interesting. They have such a mastery in the composition, the performances, and the production. My favorite tracks are Cosmic, the longest song on the album at just over 7 minutes, and G, a strange, progressive, and jazzy song that is wacky like Frank Zappa and Mr. Bungle and features some time signature changes and some female background vocals. This album is for people who are fans of weird stuff like Mr. Bungle, for people that want bands that bring in a lot of different influences. For example, Beautiful Morning starts off sounding like the song Them Bones from Alice in Chains. Ordinary, the one song on the album that I don't really like, sounds a lot like Get Lucky by Daft Punk. Death sounds like a jazzy big band crooner song in the style of Frank Sinatra or something like that from the 1940s or 50s. The closing track and title track is a solo classical piano piece played by Sinister Gates, which is unexpected and an interesting way to end the album. The guitar solos on the album are great as usual, but very different sounding than usual. I like how they all sound so different from each other in terms of guitar tone, note choices, and playing style, as opposed to their previous albums where the guitar solos are more similar to each other. And that's it for my top 10 favorite progressive metal albums of 2023. What are your favorites? Let me know down in the comments. And what do you think of my list? Until next time, peace out.